welcome back to the ministry, and we're on the last part 5 of the Dirty Dancing review, picking up where I left off. So, baby sister, she wants to sleep with Robbie, whatever. She's telling her, no, don't do that. Johnny was given the card from the wife's husband, who he had been sleeping with, and was like, oh, give my wife a dance lesson. And he already know that she's aware of some things. So he's in a moment. Some of y'all gonna be tested after y'all get in your relationship. Just know that. Understand that. There gonna be people that gonna test you, test your old ways, test your old characters to see if you legitimately in this marriage thing for real. Some of them gonna be your family and friends. Wait until you see the Bodyguard review that's coming up. Just wait. So, yeah, she goes back to Johnny and she's like, I told everybody what I needed to tell them about what happened. I told them that, and he's like, they're still firing me. She's like, what? They're still firing you? And she has a temper tantrum. She's like, oh my God, I did all that, and now they're still firing me. He said, no, baby, you don't realize nobody's ever done anything like that for me. And that's what I was telling you in the previous video. No one's ever done anything in defense to help your husband. What you have done is the equivalent of what Abigail did for her husband Nabal, that made David look upon her with a blessing, because he had never seen anybody do that. It's your stewardship. It's your servitude. It's your taking your walk with God seriously. And in you taking your walk with God seriously, breaking down all the barriers and the things and the shames and the things that your God-ordained spouse in some ways don't even feel like he deserves to be married to you because of some stuff that he was into in all of the years that he was out there doing what he did. Don't even feel comfortable. Got caught up in things. He knew he started out with God, and he knew he walked away. And his shame is the fact that he got caught up. Some people turn around. I remember my pastor a while back talking about sometimes you walk away from God and don't even realize that you got that far away until you look back and realize, dang, I done slipped this far out. This far out. This far away. Walked this far. Gone this far out of order. Done shifted this far. And you did. And they did. And they don't even know what to do about that situation. They really don't. They don't know how to operate in it. They don't know what to do about it. They a little bit. But here you are. Somebody they don't know you from Adam. And you, unlike the people in their life, have defended them, stood up for them, spiritually defended them, prevented them from going through all hell that they would have went through. Some of you prevented your God-ordained spouse from dying. There was a death warrant on this man's head, and because you prayed for them, it no longer exists. I heard habeas corpus in the spirit a lot over my God-ordained spouse. He was rendered time served. He's been set free. Meaning there was a judicial decree set up for him that was supposed to come to pass because he got caught up in all that rebellion I talked about. And because of that, the enemy wanted to take him out, and he would have had legal right to do so. But because of your prayers, you Zechariah 3'd him, where he was brought before the judgment seat of God. And literally, God said, when Satan was trying to bring all these accusations, but look, I 2 Timothy 3'd him, and he passed all of this stuff. And God said, no, that child is mine, and no. take all them dirty clothes off of him, put him back in his robes, and yeah. And because you did that, they are indebted to you. They truly are indebted to you. So, where am I at? He was proud of her. Your God-ordained spouse was proud of her. He don't even know what to do or say in order to bless you when he comes into your life. I remember the Lord showed me a vision a while back, and in that vision that he showed me, what was it? My God-ordained spouse running at me like a quarterback running at somebody. And I was like, what? Your God-ordained spouse so desperately wants to come to you. And now that there's been a shift been made and it's broken, you can shift. He's going to come and you're going to find out. And she ended up going to her dad and expressing the disappointment she had in him. Some of you have physical fathers that have disappointed you, and the relationship you've had with your physical father in comparison to the relationship you're going to have with your actual husband, the two coming together at a point is literally going to force the two of you to end up talking about the thing that you were disappointed in, and you're going to come to a peace about it. Things that y'all haven't even been able to say for years to one another. You're going to be able to say it at this point. Because they no longer have a hold over you, no longer have a carrying over you, no longer have, and they're going to express their proudness to see you where you're at. There's going to be a closure there before you fully step into. And I believe that's another reason for this period between, it's not so much a courtship, pay attention, not so much a courtship, but for those of you that are going to elope and then your marriage, that's what that's for apologies to be had, for all of these types of things. Some of you, these people are going to make it through till after you get to your wedding ceremony. Some of them, they may not make it past your wedding ceremony, just to be honest with you. If they don't repent, they may not make it past your wedding ceremony. So, with that being said, she goes to Johnny to say goodbye to him because he no longer is in the show, so he's packing up to leave. He's not going to stay there any longer. So they go and have their last hugs and kisses. What are you talking about here? For some of your God-ordained spouses, they're going to be separated from the places that they have been at, meaning the career field. Some of them either are going to walk away from the career field or walk away from the contractual agreements of it, because some of them are meant to go independently from what it is that they're doing. For others, it's a transitionary period to build up something that they've had their hands on that you're supposed to assist them with before God opens a door for alignment for something else. That's all I'm going to say for that. What else? But they have to say goodbye for a moment while this thing is being structured. You and your God-ordained spouse in this, now she's saying goodbye to him. Your God-ordained spouse may have to do a closure. You know how sometimes you see people do a retirement from whatever it was that they were doing, so they have to do a running tour of whatever it was or what have you, and they're going to have to separate from you for a season to do that or whatever it is, so that they can close up those last minute things with that so that they can fully walk into what they're developing with you. Next, pay attention. So there's going to be final hoorahs. Baby and her sister have to get ready for the closing show. Her sister says, "Let me get your hair. Baby, you want me to help you with your hair?" Some of you are going to be crowned with your crowning glory. I'm being reminded. I was walking in New York 4 years ago, and I had one of my headscarves on, similar to this one. It wasn't this one. I had a white one that had prints on it, and all the leopard print pattern had done faded off this one. But the Lord had this woman walk past me. She's like, "Oh my God, your headscarf is where I had it wrapped. I had it wrapped around my head, and then I had braided locks on the side." And she said, "Oh my God, it looks like a crown because I had it wrapped, and then I had a bow on the side because I had tied it in a specific way to look like a bow." And she said, "Oh my God, that looks like a crown." Some might say that this looks like a crown the way that it is right now. Some of you are going to be crowned. In the transition of your God ordained spouse closing one door, he's going to open up the entry point for you to enter on a public platform. So, hold on. So, you'll be opened up to a public platform. Now, if you want more information on that, go back and look at my word, not the exaltate, entering in. It's called entering in. You see a door, somebody pulling a door open. There's a 6-part word there where I do the review of the movie Glitter. Go back and look at that on the entering in. You can also go back and look at the one that I was telling you about, journeying into your territory. That's a 6 to 8 part word for your God ordained spouse side of the story. So, you can look at that in your own time frame. But so you're being crowned. With that being said, it's the final show. You're coming to the end of your transitionary season. A lot of things are coming to a close in this period. Your last number's up. You're transitioning into the place where you will be exalted and nobody will be able to touch you. But with that, you're going to be separated from the things that you're used to. You're not going to have access to your mom and dad like you used to. This is why you had to go through Luke 12 and 22. You got to be separated from mother, father, all of these kinds of things, because you're going to be separated from these people for these elements and things coming to pass in this season. So in that separation, there's going to be a shift and a transition, and you're not going to have access to them because certain doors must close. Their only access to you is going to be seeing you on television or seeing you in your influence where God is taking you to be. And that's the truth of the matter, where God is showing you that he needs you to be in this season. And that's your calling. You're calling to be that Esther for such a time as this. So you need to look around you at this point. You're not going to see these things no more. Say goodbye. Somebody did a word on that. I think it was Sunray Speaks did a word on say goodbye to the things that are around you at this point in time. Because you're walking into something new. And in you walking into something new, you're no longer going to have access. And the people, the enemies that had access to you in the previous season, not anymore. And because of that, you're going to be released from them. You're going to want to. I remember in my wilderness season, I wanted to call my dad so bad. But God didn't let me call my dad for 2 years. and talk to him. But I was in a better place when I did talk to him. Some of you aren't going to have that connection with your family members. And some of that's for a reason, because there's certain judgments that's going to happen to those people. They may or may not be there any longer after the shift takes place. Some of them, for what they said, for what they did, if they do not get themselves in the right posture with the Father, when God separates you from these individuals and they don't take the hint, some of them is too late now. But some of them, when you transfer over and they no longer have access to you, some of them, the only reason that they still living is because of the fact that God was using them to support and bless you. Once that need is no longer necessary, if they don't come to repentance to that man quick, fast, and in a hurry, some of them is a bye-bye. Some of them are going to be sick for a long time before they pass on. Some of them is just, I'm seeing it happen with other family members. Once God's judgment is doled out, sometimes some of these people that you're seeing now, you ain't going to never see again. There's a scripture in the Bible that says you're going to find your enemies just gone. Some of them going to be gone because God took them off this earth. Some of them going to be gone because they in hospice some daggone where. Some of them going to be gone. Just gone. God's going to remove you from where they even have access to you. They had access to you on this side of the coast, and God's going to move you to the opposite side of the coast where they have no access unless they drive over there. And God's not going to let them get over there. So, the final number comes up, and Johnny comes in, babysitting between her mom and her dad. Some of you are between two opinions. Oh, come on, God. And you're between two things, but your spouse is going to pull you out from in between these two situations and put you on the platform, the stage that you were supposed to be on all along. And it's going to be for your enemies. Psalms 23:5. He makes a table before your enemies. They're going to see it. I was listening to something this morning and the person was talking about they have to see it. In order for God to get the glory, your enemies got to see what is about to happen in your life. For the testimony over your life. Okay? You got to see it. They do the last song, which is having the time of your life. You know the dance sequence. Go and look at it. I might link it in here just for the hell of it. And she runs into his arms. And he lifts her the way he was always supposed to lift her. In the end, your God-ordained spouse is going to be the integral key to you being lifted and exalted to the position you've always supposed to have been at. There have been people blocking you. There have been people trying to stop you. There are places that you were supposed to have been at, and it was a delay. But now it's time for you to go there now. And because of that, God's about to open the door. Your husband will lift you. Go back and look at my review for Alicia Keys' song. What is it? It's something about fear of flying or something like that. But it's a line in that where you have to take your God ordained spouse's hand and trust that he's going to help you reach the elevation in which you're supposed to reach. Go look in the songs that what is it? Kingdom Marriage playlist. Kingdom Marriage songs playlist is in there. I know it's in there because I put it in there. But it may also still be in this playlist. You just gotta search it. But yeah, you have to be willing to walk into what it is God has called you to. It's also in songs that remind me of you, because yeah. But you got to trust God. God's going to walk you into those things. Now the song. Oh, I can. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can do the lyrics. Okay, here are the lyrics for the last song. Now, I've had the time of my life. Some of you are about to enter the time of your life, and you will never feel this way. How you're about to feel with this individual, you've never felt that way before. Yes, I swear it's true. And I owe it all to you. You and this person coming together is going to bring about a level of joy and understanding and love. God, it's never felt like this. And I'm being reminded of, remember Faith Evans' Love Like This Before? And your God ordained spouse owes it all to you for your way that you have stood for them. And they are going to have the time of their life. They are really truly going to start living in a way they've never lived before, due to the latter will be greater for them. And they owe that to you. I've been waiting for so long. They've been waiting for someone like you to come into their life. Now they finally found someone to stand by them in a way they've never experienced before. We saw the writing on the walls. God has given you sign after sign after sign to show you that you two belong together. And as we felt the magical fantasy, God has made this into, it has felt like a fantasy sometimes. You know what I'm talking about. When it almost seemed like it never was going to happen. But it's like God was showing you marriage and this and this and this and all these things coming together in such a way. And God's saying, yes, this is going to happen for you. Because okay, wait. There's no way we could disguise it secretly. You're not going to be able to hide this. Some of y'all want to get married to these people and you want to go hide in the house someday going where God's saying, no, this is a public person and you're going to be public. Yeah, he makes your name great and then puts you before great men. He's going to make your name great in public, and this relationship is going to be high profile. Sorry, love you, but it's not. You ain't going to be able to escape that. So we take each other's hand. They're going to lead you into this, how God has shown you. If you know God's been showing you this. Don't act like you brand new. If God's shown it to you. If it's not for you, don't take what don't belong to you, okay? Because we seem to understand the urgency. Remember, the 911, it's an emergency that this comes into play because there ain't much time left on this earth. We got to complete the assignments God has set us forth to be done, okay? And it's so funny, I just saw a light flashing. It's coming. Just remember, you're the one thing I can't get enough of. Your God ordained spouse cannot get enough of you. He loves you, and you will not be able to get enough of them when you realize just how devoted they are to you in this relationship. So I'll tell you something. This could be love. God showing you the love element of it. Um, I've had the time of my life. I've never felt this way before. Yes, I swear it's true, baby, and I owe it all to you. Hey, baby, with my body and soul, they are fully devoted. Mind, body, spirit, all of that. I want you more and more than you'll ever know. Some of you don't understand how these men desire you. So we'll just let it go. Don't be afraid to lose control. This is why you have to loosen up, because of the fact that for where you're going, there's a certain amount of control you must have, but there's a certain amount of loosening up you must have in order to be able to walk into the places and spaces God has told you you need to be in. Yes, I know what's on your mind. God has already given them spiritual connection with you mentally, and He's already given them understanding. He knows when you say, stay with me tonight, after marriage, y'all. Just remember, you're that one thing that I can't get enough of. So going back into the chorus, had the time of my life. I've searched through every open door. These men been in several different women's beds. And some of you have been through multiple beds, multiple people, multiple relationships. Couldn't find nobody. I'm being reminded of a song. You can look it up if you choose. Called Silently. Talks about couldn't find nobody in that. Beautiful song. Anyway, and I owe it all to you. Let's see. I've had the time of my life. I've searched through every open door, and I found the truth. I owe it all to you. And that wraps the movie. The last thing I wanted to say was Baby took Johnny to her parents, and just before Johnny met her father again, Robbie walked up to him and he was about to give Robbie a check. And Robbie said, "Thank you for taking care of that little thing for me." Da-da-da-da-da. And he was like, "That was you?" And he snatched that check and tore it up real fast. And then went to Johnny and said, "To Baby first, I'm so proud to see you up there." And then he apologized to Johnny. All things are going to be made right. Your God-ordained spouse's life is going to come into alignment. Anything that was attempted to destroy his name, his character, so on and so forth, is going to be aligned when he comes into alignment with you. And you're going to be recognized for what you truly are. And you're going to get your flowers. Deani Neves did a word called "prepare to get your flowers" or something like that. Go look it up. Beautiful word. So that is that. I believe I'm done with that. I ain't got that much time. That's my time. So with that being said, until next time, bye-bye.